So what's going on here, Jerry? What's Daddy Nintendo ruining again?
Daddy Nintendo has taken off their belt and is threatening the smaller communities. I'm just kidding. That's too intense. But they are cracking down on the whole tournament setting when people use their video games for it, like namely Super Smash Brothers, as we all know. They've laid down a list of guidelines that will affect many of these small time community tournaments, and it's quite an extensive list too. Makes it harder for us to enjoy their games in like a more, I don't want to keep saying community, but we all enjoy it together, in one setting. A bunch of people played Smash, and this is like the emotional aspect of it, so where like Nintendo is pretty much wagging their finger saying that we can't do that. Not really that so much, making it more difficult. The tournaments, in order to keep going, like there's a buy-in for tournaments, like to play, not to watch. That's totally different. I'm pretty sure you could just sit down and just watch people like just duke it out. Other communities, they do get a little entry fee for it to actually play in. They will not be allowed to generate commercial revenue anymore, except permitted by like the rest of the guidelines. Up to 200 participants for in-person tournaments. Which, do you know 200 people that play Smash?
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, the first thing I thought of was, oh, this is why it's not at Evo anymore on the main stage, because there's no way it's going to be minimum 200 people.
Right, and that's probably one of the more lucrative video game tournaments out there. So that's it in itself. The name generates revenue, so that's already going to be a big no-no. When they took out Melee, that was quite an upset for the community, but a sigh of relief for a lot of others, just because like they've seen that fucking game in the list for so long. Although, albeit sometimes I watch these people play, like Hungrybox and a couple others. I think Kona plays Melee too. It's too fast for me, dude. Like, these guys are in their 40s, 30s already. Some of these people are like in age, and the way they could just think ahead and just move around, it's mind-boggling to me. One of them was no food or drink, where I'm like, that's crazy, dude.
Oh, come on, Nintendo. What?
Oh, man.
Just a morsel, please. I think the biggest thing that I saw on here was the prize pool. Per tournament, they said it can't exceed the market value of $5,000 US, and then the value in a 12-month period through a single organizer is $10,000 USD. That's not a lot of money. Like these pro gamers out there traveling to like some tournaments and stuff, trying to scrap cash. That's probably not enough.
That's going to be a negative gain.
Yeah.
Wasting money just going to these different places. They're not paid enough for this. Mm-hmm. And there was another thing about sponsors too, about that.
Yeah, they have to say Nintendo is not affiliated or a sponsor of the tournament.
When hosting a community tournament, organizers may not receive goods, services, money, etc. from third-party sponsors, or from third parties as sponsors. There was something about like watching online too, like you have to pay to watch, or you don't have to pay. I don't remember. This just dropped in literally yesterday, the 24th. When I saw the news broke, I was on Charlie's stream. I was just watching, and I was just like flabbergasted at the amount of like. We want to celebrate Nintendo's games, and what better way to do it in like a community, So this is ultimately just going to make everything harder, just to organize and play anything. All the pros I haven't seen any like pro gamers take on this, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be not good.
It just makes it harder to be a Smash player at this point. Like, why even bother if it's going to be this limited?
One of the most oldest, I would say fighting games in like the gaming generation.
For sure. I mean, Melee blew it up, right? It was still being played at official tournaments. Well, quote unquote official tournaments for a long time, until I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago Nintendo finally stepped in, and that's when like Evo took down Melee, and that was like the last time we saw Smash at an Evo event. But you know what? The biggest thing, I think, is the fact that Nintendo themselves don't do like a world tour, like the Capcom Cup or the Tekken tournaments. so that way players actually have a chance to play with the best and be able to earn money. Because or I guess when the Capcom Cup ends next year, the grand prize is like $1 million or something for Street Fighter 6.
That seems like the more reasonable amount for the prize pool for that. $5,000 is not a lot of money, dude. That's almost like a spit in the face of everybody who's like spent their time and blood, sweat, and tears on just catching those frames in Smash. Are there any other Nintendo games that are have you seen that are in wow, it's so hard to say.
Like tournaments?
Yeah, tournaments that are any other Nintendo games besides Smash. I'm pretty sure back in the day there were the Mario speedruns.
Yeah, there's like the speedrun stuff still. I know with like Mario 64, that's still kind of popular. I remember Pokken when that was sort of alive.
Oh, yeah.
That had some tournaments.
Fucking forgot about Pokken.
Maybe ARMS.
The Smash is a big name.
I mean, it is their biggest name. I mean, I don't know how popular Splatoon is these days, but I imagine they would do like esport tournaments for that too.
Oh yeah, for sure, Splatoon. Getting harder to be a fan for sure. Yeah, this sucks. Nintendo fan for sure, but I'm not a fanboy. So I don't play solely Nintendo games. This sucks. Like no more complex Smash tournaments, I guess, or that's how I saw it.
Yeah, I mean, like how often are the big Smash players going to be going around to these tournaments that are going to be streamed on like YouTube or Twitch? Out of pocket travel, get the hotel, get there, and then the prize pool's just, that doesn't really seem like it's worth it. Because remember, it says a max of 5K per tournament. That one organizer has only 10K to play with per year. Okay, you could do 2 tournaments a year of 5K each, and then that's it, or you just do one a month for less than 1,000. This doesn't kick into effect until November 15th this year.
What I want there to happen is like speakeasy tournaments. We're just underground, like black market smash tournaments underground. I imagine just a bunch of dudes around the table, like all tatted and all tatted up, holding the controllers, and there's like a bunch of money on the table with like a Glock and like fucking bottles of liquor, and then there's people always coming in and out. Dude, it's so funny to me.
Yeah, like you go to Evo and then you just go to the bathroom stall next to the Melty Blood tournament, and there's just a GameCube and a Switch sitting there.
Fuck yeah, it's a buy-in to use the restroom. Fuck
yeah. Yeah, this reminds me of the one of the Splatoon tournaments. I think for 2, like a year or 2 ago, and the prize was like a $50 gift card for the eShop or something crazy. The tournaments get so hyped, man. Like the commentary, especially with Melee, how like jittery that game is. Like man. You can just see focus is at maximum when they're playing.
Not like for the players, of course, and also like just to commentate on how fucking fast the game is going. The commentators have to be on point too. Just you have to really, like you said, focus and pay attention to what's going on in order to actually like translate that into words. Not only like the players, but maybe some of the more veteran commentators are probably going to be less and less. I don't know. I'm sure they do. Like they talk over different games, but like I feel like Smash is the one where like the hype just radiates through everybody. Yeah, and even more amplified when the commentators just say something wacky behind the microphone. It's like everybody's losing. Not like it sucks.
Oscar shared this one today on the Discord, and yeah, I've seen. I remember when this first popped up. Best Buy wants to stop selling physical media, video games and movies and stuff starting next year.
A new age is coming.
Yeah, like
it's already here. Some might say.
It's like, oh, now it's just refrigerators and Funko Pops. Like that's all you're gonna buy at Best Buy now, dude.
Keep your Funko Pops cold, man.
Yeah,
they're gonna be worth something later. Maybe, I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. That also ties into, I think it's in Australia or New Zealand. Disney's also going to stop selling Blu-rays over there.
Blu-rays going the way of the UMD. Sooner or later, I feel like it's going to reach over here, right?
Yes, yeah.
Because right now, according to this, currently Black Adam is the highest selling Oh, DVD, sorry. Which is like, that's, I thought I said Blu-ray, but even still, that's wild.
I mean, I kind of get it. You know, all the streaming services are out there. YouTube has a lot of movies you can watch with ads for free. So it's like you don't even have to sign up for anything extra. Best Buy, I always knew is like, oh, that's the place where you go for movies because they'll have like special runs of steel case books. You know, they always have good deals during the holiday season.
Right.
And freaking, even growing up, like I would go to Best Buy all the time and just go look at the anime section when they had all the DVDs.
The smell when you walk in Best Buy is like one of a kind. That's going to be a game changer. That's all that extra space what's going to be filled in Best Buy. Imagine like Best Buy just having a subscription service and joining in the streaming.
Oh man. Race. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, if you buy this smart fridge, you know, get a 2-month free trial for Best Buy Plus.
I can totally believe that.
Yeah. Well, you know what it'll probably look like? Have you been into Staples recently, dude?
No.
I went in there the other day to go buy like a lamp and try to find like a cord. They only have half the lights on. It's so empty in there, and there's just like 5 people working there not doing anything.
I'm gonna miss buying the physical media though, because it's nice to actually have it in your hands.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure you can get it like online somewhere. Like it's just Best Buy that's gonna stop doing this, but I'm sure others will follow because since Best Buy seems to be like the leader of electronics and media. Fry's is going down, but that's just like computer parts. I don't know. I can't think of another one on the top of my head that sells like media like that. I'm trying to get rid of Walmart and fucking Target.
Yeah, those are the only 2 that come to mind, but even their like in-store sections suck.
Yeah.
They only have like 1.5 aisles of stuff, a bunch of DVDs nobody wants. Oh, like they have this deal. It's like, oh, let's go see. It's like, oh, it's on the online store. Like you can't actually just go down the street and go pick it up. You have to buy it online. That's fine for the most part, as long as it's still there kind of thing. Even circling back to Disney, the Disney Plus shows, they said, yeah, we're never going to release Blu-rays or DVDs for these shows. So it's only going to stay on Disney Plus. So if you want to watch it, you have to stay subscribed.
It went from straight to movie or straight to video? What was it? Straight to DVD or whatever?
Yeah.
And 2 straight to streaming. That sucks, man. I hate this world we're coming to, but it's making everything more like convenient, but the fact that you have to pay for all this shit, it sucks. It's just draining money out of your wallet. You
guys brought it up a couple episodes ago about the price increase for all these services, and it's like, yeah, it's you know, like you know what they say, time is a flat circle, dude. Like we're just back to cable. It's just on demand cable now.
Yeah, that's funny you say that because I've actually had I've had a good nostalgia kick for quite some time now about watching old commercials, different commercials from like the 80s, 90s, just playing continuously. Like there's no show, it's all ad. There's something about that just like it scratches some sort of itch that it feels good.
Yeah.
Fuck Nintendo.
I finally sat down, dude, and I was like, you know what? It's time to watch Gundam.
What'd you start?
Yeah, I got a couple friends that are like too into Gundam, like they know everything. They suggested I would start at the minor stuff before I jumped into the main series. I started with War in the Pocket, which it's just a 6-episode like OVA series. You're on a neutral colony, and it's all in the perspective of this elementary school kid who thinks Zaku's and Gundams are cool, and then he befriends this Zaku pilot. He's kind of oblivious to who's the good guys, quote unquote, and everyone in his class is like, no, obviously the Zakus are evil, the Gundams are the good guys. He's like, no, what are you talking about? Because this whole time, like, he's been friends with the pilot, so he's like, oh, he's a good guy. And then he finds out his next door neighbor, she's a Gundam pilot. There's that classic conflict of where these 2 pilots kind of like have a thing for each other, but they barely talk. But then like obviously later on they're going to be fighting in the field.
It's one of my favorite tropes.
But for this one, because it's so short, they don't realize who the other pilot is. They never do, which is kind of bittersweet in its own way.
That's crazy. I never heard of that OVA. The only ones I've watched was Origin, the remake. A little bit of Seed, but honestly, after Char, that's his name. After him, like I kind of didn't give a fuck about anybody else because that like this dude's story was awesome. I loved it. Like, he took 3 different people's names and then piloted the Zaku out of fucking, just by talking to people. Narcissist, sort of. It's kind of like the dark origin story of the Red Comet. You should watch that one too. It's pretty short too.
That was always the big thing for me. I'm like, dude, Gundam is freaking huge. There's so much. And I was like, what? There's different timelines? What are you talking about?
It's like the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, so I'm like, look, just give me the list. Let me start off. And I was like, okay, yeah, this is a nice little introduction because I think, like, yeah, it's only 6 episodes, so you're not spending too much time investing in this, you know, to feel the waters out. And it's like, okay, so the main perspective is you don't know which side's good or bad. And I was like, oh, that's kind of nice. As far as I know, Gundam fandom, it's like, yeah, I mean, Gundams are cool, but look at these Zaku generals, man. They're so fucking cool.
I love it. The Zaku Alliance is fucking sick.
I also watched the 8th MS team, and it's basically they are on Earth, and it's like a Vietnam style-esque like series to where like they're fighting in the jungle. The Gundams, yeah, they got generic Gundams in there. There's like one cool one, and that's it. But the Zaku's, there's like 4 designs, and I'm like, dude, that's fucking cool, man. Come on. Who am I supposed to be rooting for here? I get it now, dude.
Yeah, mechs, bro.
8th MS team, that one for sure dives more into like enemies turning into lovers, because that's one of the main subplots for the main character and the other pilot for the Zaku's. I watched the show. From what I heard, the movie cuts out the last episode, which is like an epilogue. I like the epilogue. I thought it was nice. So it's definitely one of those ones where it's like, oh yeah, like this is like seeing part of the aftermath, like with these orphan kids and dealing with all the Gundam Zaku wars. So it's definitely worth watching the episodes than the movie, I think. Aside from, I guess, just better quality. But yeah, I'm in. I've just been putting it off recently. The next thing I'm going to get into is the movies for the original show. Because I heard for the most part, it's like, yeah, you could either watch 40 episodes or you could just watch 3 movies.
40 episodes sounds way too much now, dude.
Yeah, especially for an anime from 1979. It's like, woof, yeah.
I tried finishing Outlaw Star, and I couldn't. It's cool as hell, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I've been watching Big O as well. And then I finished that, and it's still like, I can't go back to Outlaw Star. I'll give it a shot again, like for sure, but just not anytime soon. I've just been watching a bunch of like random crap. I finished Peacemaker the other day. I'm waiting for season 2 now. I've been watching like the old Sonic cartoons from the 90s.
Ooh, okay.
Those have been like a good blast from the past. Like, granted, I only remember 1 episode, but so there's 3 fucking different cartoons. The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, which is just Sonic and Tails just doing fucking cartoon bullshit. Eggman's there, sure. I got the 2 mixed up. Let me see real quick. But there's one, Sonic Underground, which is just a whole different take on Sonic the Hedgehog. He has a mom, which is a queen of, I guess, their world. He has siblings, brother and sister, and they all fucking play in a band, dude. It's so cool. They all have these instruments, like, that are like just these necklaces, right? And Sonic, of course, has a fucking electric guitar, dude. Come on, he's cool. He has to have it. Manic the Hedgehog, I fucking love this dude. They were split up when they were little. Sonic Sonic landed with some random family. His brother Manic like just landed in the streets and kind of became like a street urchin, a scoundrel. And his sister was like lived in like a fucking mansion with some other people. She plays the fucking keys. The Manic, he plays the fucking drums, dude. Like, come on, what else is there to play? The way they found each other was like Sonic just started playing his guitar, and then the other two heard it. It's such a wholesome time, dude. During the episodes, they literally like they just get to know each other, and it's just that one I think is my favorite. The Sonic Underground is like I think is still goated. And then the other 2 were Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, which is just Sonic and Tails just doing random bullshit. Sonic the Hedgehog, he's a freedom fighter basically. He's a revolutionary with a bunch of other people. This is where fucking Princess Sally Acorn comes in. I've just been going back in the past, just watching my old cartoons, and it's been putting me in a good mood, a good creative mood. I started writing because I had nothing else to do while watching this shit. I've been kind of losing my focus in video games, and honestly, like, I know I keep saying that. The fact that I'm doing something else besides playing is fucking mind-boggling to me. I've just honestly just been working and coming home, just playing either Destiny, GTA, or Starfield, and so it's nice to just have a fucking another outlet to just let the creative juices flow. I have so many Gundams in my closet though that I need to build.
Yes, the model kit backlog. No, yeah, man, I haven't really even touched my PlayStation in a hot minute, because I'm like, I just look at the games, I'm like, I just don't feel like playing anything right now. I do want to hop back on soon, mainly just to hop on Yakuza so I could catch up. Like, Gaiden looks great with the whole Spider-Man thing he's got going on. The whole story stuff with Yakuza 8 looks pretty good. Freaking the Ishin import.
Dude, I don't know why I'm laughing so hard at the Spider-Man thing. Because I have no idea what you're talking about, but
you haven't seen
I can totally see it, dude.
It's like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who lost his name. Or whatever, or the man who erased his name. It's post 6, and Kiryu, from what I understand, is trying to just live a quiet life, but then he gets summoned to go do something, so he's kind of just like this agent or whatever. But then you check out the gameplay, it's like standard Yakuza stuff, and then he has like this bracelet on, and it shoots this blue, like, tether, and you could pull enemies in.
Holy fuck.
It's like Nero Snatch from DMC, and it's like, oh, it's full circle, right? Because the Kiryu mod's in one of the Spider-Man games, and now he's Spider-Man. It's crazy, man.
Oh, man. I was just talking to Grant the other day, and he said he's like, I think he's trying to get back on, I forgot which one was he was on. Oh, Like a Judgment?
Oh, he's on Judgment now, I think.
Judgment?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's time to go back because now it looks so cool, dude. Yeah, I think it's for sure time to go back. That's another game that's like on the backlog. Like I think I'm already almost done with 3. I think I'm on like chapter 12 already. And I just gotta fucking power through the last little bits of it because I think 4 is where like the quality increases for sure. But yeah, dude, like. The fact that Kiryu is still here, I'm like, dude, I gotta fucking know what happens to this guy, dude.
It's kind of crazy that he's back. I mean, I guess it's unfortunate that the series blew up at Yakuza 0, because after 0 was 6. And it's like, oh, this is supposed to be the end of Kiryu. He's popular now, though. We have to keep him here. I'm all for it. Like, Gaiden, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's fine. Like, let's have, like, some spin-off stuff. But now that he's actually back in the main plot for 8, how he's gonna team up with, Ichiban. It's funny. I don't know if you've seen the render for him in Yakuza 8. It's like he has like a little gray in his hairs. It's like, oh, he's finally getting closer to what he's supposed to look like. Because he's like 55 or something in Yakuza 8.
He still has a Bishi fucking husbando hair.
Yeah, I want to get into those. I think after 6, though, I'm not going to dive straight to 7. I might just hop on Judgment. That's like release order. And also I know 7 is Dragon Quest, so it's a big old RPG.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, that's going to be like 80 hours probably.
Remember, it's to find out what happens to Kiryu. You say 80 hours, I'm like, man, I gave all my hours already to Persona and like the rest of the Yakuza games.
Oh, no, yeah. All the Yakuza games combined is easily a couple hundred hours. I also need to get back into watching Adventure Time. I finally started that thing.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
I don't have much watching going on. It's like, how about I finally get into this? Because everyone's always talking about it. And then now there's the new, the Fiona and Cake show's out.
Yeah, I saw a couple episodes of that one. And it's actually pretty good. I like how it starts. It really, like, it's really tailored for the adults who grew up on Adventure Time. It plays with some good themes in the beginning. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's nice.
Okay.
It's refreshing.
I guess I have to finish the show because I keep thinking I finally met Fiona and Cake. I'm on season 3. Oh, there's Fiona and Cake. It's just female Finn and Jake. It's like, oh, okay, how do they tie in? And it's like, oh, they're fanfic. Oh, what's his name? The King.
The Ice King?
Yeah, the Ice King fanfic. Okay, it's just like they just blew up from popularity because they're so cool kind of thing. I was like, okay, I get it. I thought like they were going to team up with like Finn and Jake at some point and then just shenanigans happen. I mean, I guess that could still happen. I don't know. I know the show takes some wacky turns and stuff and it gets pretty dark.
I've been trying to watch Adventure Time as well. There's a lot in there that's like, I was going to say well paced, but it's more like it's easy to follow along. Well, yeah, sure, it's a cartoon, but there are some, like you said, there are some themes in there that just make you like, this is really a cartoon? This is for kids? A lot of times it's thought-provoking. A lot of times it's just really goofiness. This is the kind of humor we grew up on.
It's definitely given me, like, Flapjack vibes with, like, the humor and some of the writing in the episodes. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's got me on board.
I believe they came out at the same time, didn't they?
Flapjack, I think, was 2004. And then I think Adventure Time was like 2007, 2008.
2010.
Oh, okay. Flapjack was 08. Oh, so it was like almost like right after.
Yeah, I could definitely see the similarity between the two. Flapjack was more chaotic. Fucking loved it.
Yeah.
Everything wacky in Adventure Time had like purpose.
Okay, so the guy that made Flapjack, he was the supervising producer and he did the story for season 2 of Adventure Time.
Okay, there you go.
I think Flapjack got referenced recently too.
On Adventure Time?
On the Fiona and Cake show.
Oh, no shit? Oh, Oh,
yeah, I
cool.
saw a clip. They're talking about the multiverse or something, and it cut to a clip of Flapjack talking to Captain Knuckles.
That's great. I love when they incorporate other shows in another show. Multiverse. God damn you, Marvel.
Yeah, for real.
It's cool, don't get me wrong, but fuck, man.
I need to get back into my Ben 10 watching. It just sucks Max took it off. It goes big into the multiverse stuff a lot, which is crazy.
Ben 10. Man, that might be another one to hop back on. It's gonna have to be one of those shows that I'm kind of like half watching, where I have on in the background. Because with Peacemaker, I don't know, man. I literally just sat down and watched a couple episodes, not doing anything else.
Yeah, right now, Adventure Time's kind of like almost that background one, because since it's very episodic, there's a lot where I'm like, okay, I could kind of sit back on this episode, or it's like, oh, I have to actually watch this one, because this looks like a good one.
But at least it's an easy watch, though.
I try to burn through like 3 at a time.
Yeah, that's a good pace.
Yeah. Other than that, I finally caught up to Hajime no Ippo, dude. Chapter 1437 is where we're at.
Oh my goodness. When did you start?
When I started, what year was that? I think it was like 2015. It took me like 2 months to catch up. And I think at that time it was probably like around 1,000 chapters. So Ippo's retired, quote unquote, right now. And we're kind of just focusing more on all the other characters that he's fought in the past and like their journey. We're just getting so close for him to come out of retirement. Like, I'm just waiting for that moment to happen. It's just such a big tease that this guy's doing to us right now.
Are they pulling him back in?
He showing early signs of CT. Oh, I can't do this. And then he got very desperate in his last match, so he lost very embarrassingly. And he decided like, oh, this is just it for me. Like, I'm going to retire. But he never stopped training, and he started being a second for other people. He's basically learning like all different perspectives of boxing while he's not in the ring anymore. Very slowly, he's like going in and sparring with some people to try to give out pointers, because Ippo's very much like Deku, and he overanalyzes everything and tries to come up with the best formula and best tactics to use. And right now, it's like there's this big world title match coming up with one of the people he fought before, who's in a different weight class, and he's like sort of trying to figure out this method, and he finally steps into the ring, and he's starting to like get serious again and fighting, and everyone's freaking out. I'm like, dude, are you sure you're retired? You don't look like it. So I'm like, oh, we're almost there, dude. We're almost back. But it probably won't be in like another 100 chapters or something. I'm still enjoying Ippo for what it is.
I wish I had gotten into it back then, because 1,400 chapters is a lot. It's like starting One Piece over. I'm not doing that. Ever.
The 90s anime was like 75 episodes. Doesn't even scratch the surface, really. There's like some big fights in there, and then like they did a couple like OVA movies for some of the matches, but yeah, no, there's still so much to dive into. Even the 2013 anime, that had I think 26 episodes, and that still didn't cover a whole lot either.
It seems like 1,400 chapters honestly is a little too long for him to actually get other perspectives of boxing, because it seems like that would be one of the things to do, because I'm sure he's had a lot of like difficult fights. That
yes,
has he lost any besides like the one?
He's only lost 3 fights. His first fight he lost was kind of early on. It was when he was fighting for the title for Japan. Yeah. His last 2 matches are the ones he lost back to back.
Yeah, I guess this would be, if you're like I've been on a winning streak, I guess like now would be the time to do it. I guess the pacing, it has to be like kind of slow. I'm assuming
it's one of those things where the fights last for like around, I don't know, like 10-15 chapters or something crazy.
Oh man,
it gets really intense with those fights, but yeah, they last a long time. I guess that would be like one of the downsides with it, is like, god damn, like, I mean, it's great though. It's like all the fights are good. It's a lot of like, internal monologues of them calculating the opponent and stuff.
Oh yeah, no doubt. It sounds interesting just to dive into his mind and just to see like what he's actually thinking about during all of this, during the intensity of these fists getting thrown.
Even with other characters, when they get into their matches, if they're big going then yes, we're gonna spend time in those matches and see what they're thinking of. Like one of the last big fights was, what's his nickname? It's like the God of Boxing, I think. This guy Ricardo. He's like the undefeated world champion for years, and he fought against this kid who kind of like grew up in the jungle basically, and so his fighting style is so different from anything else that it's kind of hard to predict what he's gonna do. So that kind of fight was cool, because we're finally getting to see what the mind of Ricardo is in this series, and how he calculates and wins and all that kind of stuff. Really good fight, but yeah, that one also lasted a long time.
I wish they kept up with the anime, because that sounds like it would be fun to watch.
Yeah, I wish too, because there's so many matches where I'm like, God, it would be great to see this animated. Which is crazy, because I know it has an English dub, at least for the 90s. I don't remember if they did it for the 2013 anime.
We were ready for it.
I kind of hope it comes back, because now it's finally at least the digital volumes, they're being translated in English now.
How many like manga have broken the 1,000 chapters?
I don't know. Are we gonna count JoJo for that? Because I would say that JoJo does.
Yeah, I think so. Pretty much continuations, except for like maybe like the last couple. It's still under the JoJo name though, so I would count it.
Yeah, I think like even with Stone Ocean, that was around I think 900 chapters in total. And it's crazy to think about that, right? Because it's like, oh, it doesn't even feel like as long as One Piece, but yeah.
Yeah, then One Piece, Detective Conan.
Yeah, I'm sure Conan hit it. Kochikame for sure. You know, I'm surprised this one hasn't, and I do want to start reading it. But Kingdom, that hit 700 chapters not that long ago.
Besides One Piece, and can't really name another one, but we don't have an ongoing anime for those. Make them bigger than what they already are.
It is just tough, right, for anime studios to keep pushing something that big. Yeah, I don't think Detective Conan's being animated anymore. They still like pump movies out, I think, every few years. I think like one where I'm surprised that kept going was Gintama. I think the manga had like 700 chapters from what I remember reading. And then the anime, for the most part, finished. The last thing for the series would be the last movie that came out, which is fitting because that whole arc could just be the movie, which is fine. But yeah, like they animated the whole thing, and I'm like, wow, that's kind of crazy because no one really talks about Gintama. It's always cool to see like, oh, Gintoki's being brought up about like who's the best like shonen main character and stuff like that. And maybe like 10 years ago, there was a bunch of clips of like the crude humor being played and like everyone enjoying and stuff. But yeah, that's just, no one talks about Gintama, and it's crazy it lasted as long as it did.
That is pretty wild. It's literally like every anime. But I can't say anything. Really, I haven't sit down and watched or read anything of Gintama. I just know of like what like Grant tells me and you guys tell me, and it's pretty silly. I guess from the back I can kind of tell what's going on, but I'm sure there's a story in there.
When me and Grant dove into reading it, a lot of it is like episodic chapters, very humorous, good times. But man, when Srirachi wants to write an arc, he can write an arc. It's so good. Yeah, it gets really intense too. The fighting choreography is amazing. Thinking lately, I was like, man, I kind of want to just go back and just check out Gintama, you know, just to see the absurd wackiness of it, just to have a good time. Like also thinking like, man, I kind of want to go back and rewatch like early One Piece just to get that humor in there because it's so good. I've just been seeing like random clips of pre-time skip humor, and it's like, oh man, it gets me every time.
Yeah, definitely humor was a little more, for lack of a better term, crude back then. Less polished for sure, but that's what gave it its charm.
I've seen clips of the Gintama anime. The humor in the anime is so much raunchier than the manga.
Oh fuck.
I was like, dude, that never happens, but oh my god, that is something.
So it's not like 1-for-1 for the manga?
One of the examples is there's always the recurring gag in the anime to where they like to pull other Shonen Jump titles. Or Gintoki's just dressed up as Luffy and like they're talking about the One Piece and stuff, and then like Naruto gets brought up, and there is an arc in both the manga and anime where they're having a dream and it's basically Zangetsu from Bleach. And it's just a whole gag chapter. And that stuff's fun, but the anime definitely leans a lot more into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's like everybody read a fucking One Piece in Gintama, and they're like, yeah, let's go find the One Piece, guys.
Yeah, and of course, the voice acting, you know, helps the humor a lot. Like, they do a great job. I know there is some dub for Gintama. Never checked it out.
I'm sure it'd be harder to translate some of the jokes.
Yes, yeah, there's a lot of Japanese-ass jokes in Gintama, for sure. If I haven't read manga and watched anime as long as we have, you know, I would be like so clueless into some of that humor. Oh, I guess I should mention too, for Gundam so far, I've been watching the English dub.
Oh shit.
Because I'm like, well, it's like early old school anime, right? Like I'm sure the dub is pretty good, and yeah. It's been good so far.
That makes sense. Are you like actually sitting down and watching it, or are you doing other stuff?
No, I'm sitting down and watching it. The 8th MS team was 12 episodes, so it wasn't too bad to just sit down and watch it. Yeah, but I'm sure if I get into like the 40 plus episode series runs, I might have to just turn around and grab something and do something else.
Have you read the new One Piece?
No, I just saw the chapters up.
Man, it is so good where we're at. Like, and it's just getting better. We say that every week. This week is like so good. It's just flashback arc, of course, but it's important. Damn good why it's important. Well, when do you think we'll reach Laugh Tale? And do you think Buggy is going to be the one who get One Piece?
I think Buggy will be there at the end. Like, he just has such a special spot in Oda's heart. And the fact that he's just this big player now, it's interesting. I could see it'll probably be him, Luffy, of course, Blackbeard, Shanks. Akainu will be there too, I guess, just because he has to be there.
If not him, maybe another bigger player that we haven't seen in the Marine Corps. Rocks himself.
Oh man, that'd be crazy. Oh, maybe Sabo too. Kobe.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Did you notice Kobe has the fucking Luffy eyes?
Oh, when he punched that boulder or that mountain.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Watching the live action really reinforced how much like Kobe fucking respects like Luffy to the point where he almost starts looking like him. Because sometimes in the manga I'm like, yo, is that Luffy? No, dude, that's Kobe. Dude. They both have the fucking wide-eyed empty stare. Like, I noticed Sabo also has fucking Luffy eyes. Like, it could just be like the art.
No, this is Oda we're talking about.
Yeah, everything has a fucking point, dude.
It could be like Conqueror's Hockey too. Like it could be that, because I think he teased Kobe having some type of hockey. I guess it was the Summit War when he was trying to stop the fight.
Yeah, I remember that. That was it. You know what? Too much shit happened in the Summit War where like a lot. I probably missed a lot of big things happening. But I vaguely remember Sabo like showing some hockey.
I've been thinking it might be time for the reread again.
Are you sure?
Now that Wano's over, there's so much new stuff to like try to find in these older chapters.
This is the like pretty much one of the last legs of One Piece. And there's a lot of stuff that we probably don't remember. I read this chapter and they mentioned Hachinosu, and I'm like, what the fuck? That's the fucking island they're on currently, dude.
Yeah.
No, that's the fucking pirate island, bro. These fucking, I like, we just got through that.
Yeah, I've been deep diving into some Twitter threads or X threads of One Piece theories. Yeah, they've been interesting lately. There was this one with Boa and theorizing how important her role is going to be, which is very interesting considering, like, she hasn't been there in a long time. And I mean, sure, she's strong, but she's not, like, near, like, Emperor level. But why does Blackbeard want her devil fruit so bad? And then I guess, like, the previous Kuja queen, what's her name, Shaka, and, like, she was, like, involved with Raylight and stuff. And then from what I saw with the new chapter in the flashback, there's another Kuja person there, and I'm like, yo, what's going on, man?
Like you said earlier, it's just a flat circle. It's crazy because like it's insane. This new chapter kind of like shows like everybody who was at the I think it just showed how Garp became a hero. And then like I read some comments like after that, I'm like drawing lines, I'm like, these make sense though. Like normally I would be fucking very cynical about this kind of shit. We're thinking too much, dude. We're gonna spoil it for ourselves if you fucking keep pointing lines somewhere, dude. Because one of those might be right, and then everything's just gonna collapse.
I remember, like, long time ago, like, the early theories with Sanji of, like, oh, he might be part of, like, some royalty from New World, and turns out technically, you know, he is with Germa 66, right? Which is crazy. And then Sabo being alive.
We probably solved One Piece already as like a community.
I'd have to like deep dive to try to find it, but there was this theory I read of what the end of One Piece will look like, and like what it's been leading up to with all the hints. Stuff like with like Water 7, how big the Red Line is, Noah's Ark and Fishman Island. And just reading all that stuff, I was like, oh, you know what? It makes sense, dude. This I could see this happening. I don't know. Oda's he's just Goda.
He's behind like a two-way glass just laughing.
Dude, he's that restaurant that has that soup that's been going on for 40 years that's like super good. It just never stops being good, and it's just the same soup from the beginning. All right, guys, we're going to end this week off. Thanks for listening, as always. unversedpodcast@gmail.com for any questions, comments. We'll bring them up in future episodes, of course. And so till next time, catch y'all later.
Bye-bye.